I'm like, maybe she got the information wrong. I'm like, there's no way this is happening right now. What's good, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's just me, Jenny, where it is what it is and you get what you get. I know it's been a minute since I post a video. Some of you may care, some of you might not, but yeah, so I've been a little discombobulated lately. A lot of changes been going on, and yeah, my head's just been a little bit all over the place, and I just haven't had time or any kind of focus to do a video. But I figured it was time to get back on the camera. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you have not, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you will be notified every time I post a new video. And before I get into it, hit that thumbs up button and like this video right now. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So as you can see by the title, today is story time, and I have it's not crazy, I have a story to tell. And for those of you who don't know, my birthday is coming up in a few days, and I just thought it was the perfect time to share this story. If you are close to me, you already know. If not, sit back and listen. If you don't, well, you're about to hear about my not so sweet 16. So my birthday is September 11th, and on my 11th birthday, the World Trade Center was attacked, and thousands of people lost their lives. At the time, I didn't really, not that I didn't understand, but I was 11 and it was just like, oh, that's sad, but I didn't really watch it. Like, I didn't watch the buildings come down and stuff like that, you know. I just remember being in school and they asked everyone, you know, does anybody have any parents that work in the World Trade Center? Does anybody have any parents that worked at the airport or for an airline? I knew my mother worked for the airport at the time, but still, I didn't know the extent of how bad the situation really was. And I remember coming home, my mom was just sad, and all the adults were just sad, and I'm like, what is going on? But it took like maybe like 2 years for me to really sit down and watch like the documentaries and watch how horrific everything was. Like, it was just horrible, and it was sad to watch, and it was hard to celebrate on a day like that day, knowing that so many people are mourning the loss of friends and families and co-workers, and it's hard to celebrate on that day. But as I got older, I learned to appreciate and not take life for granted, and I learned to celebrate. And it goes to say, I hear a lot of people, this is going off topic, but I hear a lot of people talk about how, like, they don't celebrate. Like, I don't celebrate my birthday. That's just reminding me of how old I'm getting. Or, you know, and some people have other reasons why they don't celebrate. My personal opinion, I just feel like, why not celebrate it? It's another year that God has granted you here on this earth, when so many people can no longer say that. You understand? So it's like, why not celebrate it? It's another year. You are blessed to be here. So for me, I'm gonna celebrate it to the fullest. I didn't feel like that for a long time because, like I said, the tragedy of 9/11 happened. Birthday parties was not a big, like, I didn't really have birthday parties. I had them when I was young. Like, I can remember, like, I think my 9th birthday, you know. But as I started getting older, like, I didn't have birthday parties and stuff like that. But I would celebrate nothing crazy, you know, going out to dinner or stuff like that. Sorry. But yeah, after 9/11 happened, it was kind of hard to celebrate. And then my 16th birthday. Unbelievable. You know, most people on their 16th birthday, they're having a sweet 16. And, you know, it's every teenage girl's dream to have that big party. Remember that MTV show that used to come on, Sweet 16? I used to watch it like, oh, I wish I could be like them, getting cars and all that stuff like that. But instead of living that life, and I didn't even have a Sweet 16 party. Instead of that, I was in tears and sad and grieving the loss of my grandmother and almost my sister. So yeah, let's get into that. So it was September 10th, I believe. I think it was September 10th, and it was the night before my birthday, and it was my 16th birthday. I knew I wasn't having a party, but, you know, I was excited. I was turning 16. I was, you know, like, oh, that teenage, you know, I felt like a little bit more freedom was coming. And, you know, I wanted to look cute. I wanted my sister to put a weave in my head, and she was supposed to do that. And while I was getting stuff prepared for her to do my hair, I saw her getting dressed. And I'm like, where the hell are you going? You know. And she's like, oh, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'm going riding. So back then, I hope she don't mind me telling her story, but I'm just telling how it affected me. Sorry, sis. But back then she used to ride, not drive motorcycles, but, you know, her and her friends, they would like ride on the back with like motorcycle gangs or whatever. Not gangs, but, you know, like guys who were in motorcycle groups, whatever. Because that was cool, I guess. So she was like, I'll be right back. I'm just going riding real quick and I'm coming back. So of course I was pissed off. I was mad because I wanted my hair done. And on top of that, okay, no, you know what it was? It was actually September 9th, because the festival where we're from, Rochdale Festival, was the next day. That's what it was. And I wanted my hair done for the festival. And she was supposed to do it, but she didn't do it. All right. So she rushed out the house, so I was mad. So I was like, F it, I'm going to do it myself. Because back then we used to glue the weave, you know, with the bonding glue. Biggest mistake I've ever made. But I glued in the tracks myself. And then I'm not sure what time it was, but my sister, my oldest sister, got the call about Tiffany. I'm sorry if I didn't say which sister. Tiffany, the one y'all always see me do the videos with. This is about her. My oldest sister got the phone call that she's been in a motorcycle accident. So she was trying to contact my mom because she had went out with my dad that night, and my aunt was home, so we was trying to contact my mom. My mom came rushing home, and it came off like it wasn't a big deal, like, you know, like as if she might have been a little banged up, but she was okay. All right, so my mom rushed off to the hospital. The next day was the festival. again, I was not aware of how serious it was because I think they dumbed it down for my mom. Like, they didn't want to freak her out. So I went to the festival with my cousin, and we all were talking about it, but I didn't, I didn't know how serious it was. But as the day started to go on, I realized my mother didn't come home, and I started to see, okay, she's hurt, like, it's pretty bad. But still, not knowing how serious it was. Fast forward to the next day. They told me the night before that, she's really banged up. It's a bad situation. She's not doing good, but she will be okay. At least that's what they told me. It was my birthday. The morning of my birthday, I was getting dressed, getting cute. What I thought was cute back then, even though I look at the pictures like, what? I used to put like the little white eyeliner. I don't know, whatever. I just remember that picture that I took. And my mom came home that morning to see me off to school because it was my birthday, but I could just tell she just was not happy. Like, it was just not a happy day. I was trying to be excited because it was my sweet 16, but it was like, when my mom is hurting, I'm hurting. So I'm looking at her and I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go to school now. That was that. I got to school, and my sister was a very popular person, so everybody was already aware that this happened. At the time, I think MySpace was out. That's what was out. And I think it was posted on MySpace, and everybody was aware of it. So people kept coming up to me, like, because she went to that school too. Security guards was like, oh, I heard your sister's on life support, and all this, like, all these crazy questions, and it kind of freaked me out. And I cried a little bit because it was just like, damn, like, how bad is this situation? And it was just a lot because I was trying to be positive because it was my birthday, but it was like, I can't sit here and be happy when my mom is hurting, my sister's hurt. It was just crazy. So I came home and my mom's crying. My aunt is upset. Everybody, I'm like, what's going on? So they was like, we got to go back up to the hospital because Tiffany's lung collapsed. And then I collapsed. I just started crying. And like I said previously, other videos, you've heard me say, I'm not a crier. But I knew that shit was bad at that point. And I just broke down crying. I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen to my sister? And just a little laugh. I feel like I always got to remember, because I'm so, like, don't show emotions. My aunt, while I'm bawling, crying, she's like, oh, I don't mean to say this, but I've never seen you cry before. And I'm just like, perfect timing. Like, this is the time to talk about that. But I get where she was coming from, trying to lighten the mood, but it was just all bad. So we all rushed up to the hospital. Saw her in ICU. And I was just like, oh, this is bad. She had like a rod sticking out her leg. One of them, I don't remember which one. I don't know which leg it is. There was a rod sticking out the leg, and she was just really, I don't want to tell her story. This is not my story to tell. I'm just gonna try to tell it from my perspective. She was in really bad condition. Anybody who knows you and you're in ICU, it's bad. She couldn't talk. She was not on life support, but she did have like a tube down her throat and stuff. It was bad. She couldn't talk. And it broke me. It was just like I've never seen anybody that I care for, let alone my sister, in that kind of position. And it broke me, and it was just like, what is happening? So, ironically, as I'm in that room visiting my sister, she was in Kings County Hospital. Literally across the street, my grandmother was in the hospital. I think the hospital's called Downstate. If you're from Brooklyn, you know Kings County, there's a hospital right across the street. My grandmother's in the hospital across the street from her. The plan was, while I was up there, I was going to go see my sister first, and then I was going to go visit my grandmother. I haven't spoken to her in a while because I had did some dumb crap that I had ended up getting in trouble for. And my mother found out because of my aunt and my cousin and my grandmother and all of them. So, being a little piss-ass teenager, I was mad at them and I wasn't really talking to them. But I was like, I'm going to go see my grandmother. She's the only grandmother I had. You know, my mom's parents, her dad died before I was even born, and her mom passed when I was like 3. So I didn't really have a bond with her. But my dad's mom, I grew up with, you know, visit her. I used to stay over there most of the weekends. So the plan was to go and visit her across the street after I finished visiting my sister. So while I'm in the room with my sister, my Aunt Gwen, hey girl, if you're watching, she pulls me out. She's like, come, I gotta talk to you, come with me. So I'm like, what's going on? I didn't even get to the elevator yet, and she's like, your grandmother just passed away. And I just slid down the wall, like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm about to go see her, like, what do you... She was like, they just told me your grandmother died. Come, your mother's downstairs waiting for you. I'm like, maybe she got the information wrong. I'm like, there's no way this is happening right now. I go out the building. I see my mom standing there crying. My dad on the corner crying. I'm just like, y'all not serious right now. So my mom just grabbed me and she was like, she's gone, da-da-da-da. I couldn't even make this shit up. It was just like, not today of all days. Like, this is really happening. So, I'm like, bear with me. It still gets me, like I said, she was the only grandmother I knew. So it bothers me. And the fact that I didn't get to see her before she went was really, like, heartbreaking. So I went across the street. Thank God for my boyfriend at the time, because he was there and was very, very, very supportive. Even he was just like, I don't even know what to say. Like, it was bad. It was just so bad. We went across the street. I saw my cousin. She's crying. Everybody's crying. I'm like, oh, God, this is like, unreal. So they're all like, we're going to go upstairs and see her for the last time. They asked me if I want to go. I was like, no. I'm going to stay down here. I don't want to see her like that. I can't. No. So he stayed downstairs with me, my boyfriend at the time, and sat with me, and my other cousin came in, and I'm like, they're all upstairs. Do I regret not going up there now? Yes. Because even though she was no longer physically there, I should have at least went to go say goodbye or something, you know. Anyway, so the whole day was just, I was just like a kid in his lap just crying. Like, that's all I can remember, just crying. Like, what? Why is this happening? I got a sister who's damn near dying, and then my grandmother just died. Literally across the street from each other. It's almost like my grandmother, I mean, to some of you it may seem like you're okay, but it's almost like my grandmother's like, she needs to be here. She's still young. I'll go. You know, like, it was just weird. They were literally across the street from each other, and the day that I decided to visit both, one of them goes. It was just like, why? So that was my sweet 16. That was not so sweet. And I'm doing this video because people have to understand life is short. Even though my grandmother was 80, I don't know, she's 80 something years old. It just shows you that tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Time goes back to my time video. You think you got time. I sat there, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go see her after. You know, I knew she was in the hospital, but I'm like, all right, now that I'm up here already to see my sister, I'll go see her afterwards. I regret, I should have, had I known, I would have went there first. Or I would have been there for her sooner, before my sister even got into the car accident. I mean, the motorcycle accident. But I didn't know. I had no idea on my 16th birthday that I would lose my grandmother and my sister would be in the fight for her life. I had no idea that that was going to be my life on that day. So I say this to say, embrace your birthday. Embrace the day that you were given life. Celebrate it. I don't care if you have to celebrate it by yourself. Do something, because that is another year that God has blessed you with. And you need to take advantage of it, because it can be snatched away at any given minute. I let those horrific events, the World Trade Center, like all of those things, it was just like so hard to, like, how I'm gonna celebrate. I mean, I still celebrate it, but it was always like this guilt. No lie, every year I literally, on my birthday, I go and I watch these documentaries about the World Trade Center. It's like I force myself to get upset and get emotional so that I can now, like, okay, I mourned, now I'm gonna go celebrate. Because I feel guilty if I'm out here partying while everybody's remembering everybody that they lost, while I'm remembering that my birthday is on my grandmother's tombstone. Like, that was the day she died. Like, those things play in my head. But I don't feel that way anymore, because life is meant to be celebrated, because it's not promised to you. 9/11. That date means a lot to me. It's not just about my birthday. A lot of things have taken place on that day. And it's a day that I will never forget. It's a date that I will never forget. And I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys take to what I'm saying about enjoy your life. Embrace your birthdays. Celebrate it. Because you never know what can happen. You never know what can happen. So with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'm gonna try my best to post more videos, and I'm a little rusty, as you could tell, so I'm a little bit all over the place with this, but I'm gonna get back to it. I promise I have to get back to it. Yeah, so thank you for watching. As always, go and follow me, Instagram, Jenny_Penny_. Go get that book, Inherited Dysfunction, on Amazon.com. Follow the book page, Inherited_Dysfunction. And that's dysfunction with a Y. FYI. And yeah, thank you for watching. Jenny